Hello everyone, this is Lil Country. I want to bring to you a video about my CM Wiz slash Perma Freeze Wiz and talk to you about some of the things, share with you a lot of insight that I've learned through forums and friends and all the many of hours of gameplay that I've had. Um, the most important things I want to talk to you about is the attack speed, your APOC, which is arcane power and crit hits, the skills that I use, the gear that I use. Most importantly about this video, I want to show you the breakpoints and how procking works, and whether or not you need to use a follower to achieve some of the goals you're trying to attain. So let's talk about attack speed. This is a little excerpt from some of the D3 game guide forums. You'll see here on the left the numbers are your attacks per second, and the numbers on the right is your ticks for your Wicked Wind twisters, or for twisters period, for the duration of that twister. So this is saying that basically the more attacks per second you get, the faster your attack speed is, the more ticks you can get off of each twister for its duration. But you'll notice there are break points. So the two main break points everybody tries to achieve is the 2.50 and the 2.73, given the fact that we round up. So if you have a breakpoint of over 2.50, which I'm at 2.67, so I'm kind of in the middle of the road. But notice that 2.67 is not going to be any better than 2.50. I'm not going to notice a huge difference until I get over 2.73. So let's talk about how some of the things we could do to achieve our breakpoints, to get over the next breakpoint, to make a big difference. Okay, first, it's obviously your gear. Anything with 0.9%, it's going to be a huge deal. You want to try to get over 50% increased attack speed. You can do this by most of your trifecta type rings and amulets. You'll see that, like, if I swap this amulet out, this is an amulet I use quite often, does not have an increased attack speed. I'll go from 2.53 to 2.67. That's 0.14, just off every 9% increased attack speed gear item you do. So the reason I'm using Talrosh is it has increased attack speed. Witching Hour, if you can afford it, has 9%. I'm not using a trifecta type ring on this hand because I wear the Zuni's set a lot when I'm doing Archon build. I like the 2-set bonus I get from the Zuni's, plus the Zuni ring here has life on hit, and I'll talk about that in a second. Lacunis has increased attack speed, so whatever type of gear set you have, the more increased attack speed you have, the better, with the goal being around 50%. Okay, and then the second thing I want to talk to you about increasing attack speed is the wizard slow time with the stretch time run. You can see that at 2.67, if I use the bubble, I'll go all the way up to 2.84. Now, like we said before, that puts me over the next breakpoint of 2.73. So now I'm going to get more ticks off of each twister for the duration. I'll get more crit hits, which will replenish my life and my arcane power. The third thing is the Enchantress. Right now, we are at 2.67. If we hire the Enchantress, we will go up to 2.72. That's 0.05. That's the third thing you can use. The reason for that is the Enchantress has the increased attack speed as well as the increased armor. So you'll see that if you use the Enchantress, not only will she increase your attack speed by 0.05, but she'll also increase your armor. For my case, I have 3852 with her. If I dismiss her, 3649. So that's roughly 200 armor that I get, and the damage with her increased attack speed will make a difference of about 3,000k, about 3k damage. Not a big deal, but I mean it's free. It's free damage, free armor if you use the Enchantress, so long as she stays alive, which is not often an MP8 or higher in Inferno. Okay. So we've talked about the gear. Let's talk about my skills that I use. Let's leave her behind. Some of the skills that I use are the Diamond Skin with the Crystal Shell Ruin, the reason I'm using the crystal shell is just to increase the damage. If you're having a problem where you're running out of arcane power, although you shouldn't, I'll show you a way you can keep the arcane power up if you have the right gear. If you're running out of arcane power, you can use Prism, which will reduce the cost. Right now I'm using Crystal Shell, and then another skill you can change out is your Frost Nova. The whole purpose of being a Perma Freeze Wizard is to keep the enemies frozen. So with Cold Snap run on Frost Nova, it reduces the cooldown time of Frost Nova, giving you the opportunity to cast Frost Nova or Freeze more often. If you're finding where you can keep the enemies frozen long enough, or you don't even need the Cold Snap, then I recommend switching over to Deep Freeze. Deep Freeze will increase your crit hit chance by 15%, which is astronomical. Makes a huge difference in your DPS. This is very good if you're just running after just the white trash mobs. You're just going to hit the big mobs and run on. You're not trying to do the onesies and twosies. A huge help if you have a Vortex Monk in your group that's going to pull all the monsters into you. And then if you have a Witch Doctor that's going to run around and aggro everything up and bring them big mobs to you, this is a big help. For Ubers, I use Bone Chill. There's only 1 or 2 Ubers that you're going to be attacking at any given time, so no sense in using the Deep Freeze. And the Cold Snap, I don't necessarily need it because I can keep the Ubers frozen long enough that it actually helps me with the 50% more damage to take Ubers out quicker. If you are in between the breakpoints and the slow time, the stretch time run that increases your attack speed does not get you to the next breakpoint, then you don't need slow time. Again, there's going to be no difference in between the 2 breakpoints from your proccing effect and your ticks from your twisters. Okay, so if you can't get over the next breakpoint with stretch time, don't use it. It's just use something else that will help you, such as time warp. Enemies caught in the bubble take 20% more damage. Just it's a huge deal to help you out. You want to use Wicked Wind. The reason you want to use Wicked Wind, the twisters on Wicked Wind, they stand in one place. Theoretically, all your enemies around you will be frozen and they will be standing still. So don't use a twister that's going to walk away from the enemies that are frozen and standing still, because they're not going to be proccing anything. So Wicked Wind twisters are the way to go. And last but not least, your armor spell. I use Storm Armor. I don't have a problem with dying. Storm Armor is going to help your damage, not necessarily your EHP or your defense. If you're finding that you're dying a lot, you can switch over to Energy Armor and use Prismatic. Can't even talk today. Use Prismatic Armor Ruin on Energy Armor, and that's going to increase all your resistances. That's going to be a huge EHP and a defense bonus if you find yourself dying a lot. So those are your 2 choices, defense or offense. I'm not dying a lot, so I'm going to use Storm Armor. Just helps me kill monsters faster. That's pretty much my skill set. So just to touch bases, the last thing, a couple things you will need as a CM Wiz to stay alive. That's your life on hit. The magic number is 800. Anything more than 800 life on hit, there should be no reason why you can't keep yourself alive so long as you're attacking monsters. The faster attack speed gives you more hits per second, which gives you more life, and your APOC. Your arcane power on crit hit, you can find that with a Chantando set. The Chantando set together, huge bonus in your attacks per second. I recommend on the wand getting a 0.24 attacks per second or higher, either the 2.4 or the 0.24 or the 0.25. I wouldn't get anything less than that. Not saying that they're bad, it's just every little bit helps on your attacks per second. With the wand, I get 9 arcane power on a crit hit, and the offhand I get 8. Not all of the offhands have APOC, so just kind of shop around if you can afford it and get the APOC. Between these 2, I have 17. The magic number is around 15. You want to have at least 15 APOC. Ideally, you want to be around 18. Another item you can get APOC on is the Stormcrow. Stormcrow also gives you life on hit. Blackthorn's Breeches breachers. I thought it was called Blackthorn's breachers. Anyways, that Blackthorn's jousting mail, the pants will give you life on hit, and the Zuni ring. So those 3 items you can have life on hit on. The Stormcrow is very good. I use this whenever I'm doing Archon, but I will not have the increased attack speed. So you'll see I'm above the first tick, and if I use slow bubble, I can actually get above the second tick. So for demonstration purposes, I'll use the Minpo for the increased attack speed. So having high crit hit chance, having fast attack speed, and having life on hit, there should be no reason why you can't keep your life up, your arcane power up, and slay monsters fast. So let's just take all this and put it to use. Run over to Fields of Misery, see if I can find a big mob. Go away. Then we'll pop freeze. You see my life went down a little bit. It went right back up. Arcane power. I'm never running out of arcane power so long as my twisters are proccing. You can see a bunch of yellow numbers come up. Let me find a bigger group. Empowered Shrine always helps. Throw up the bubble. You'll see I'm spamming these spells just as fast as they come around. The crit hit mass is definitely going to help everything stay in front. A lot of yellow numbers means it's arcane power. A life is not going to run. You're only going to get that if you have the key features to talk to you about. Get over the 8 minutes. I'm at 2.72. Pop a bubble, 2.89. Keep the twisters up. I basically hold my left finger down. I hold the button, hold my left hand down on the twisters, and I really don't let go of it until all the monsters are dead. And then I just spam my first 3 skills set up on QWE, however you have your setup. That's pretty much how I run my CM Wiz. You'll see as long as you're attacking, I'll never run out of life. I never run out of arcane power. And that's all due to many hours of gameplay, good friends teaching me good habits, and reading many forums. So I hope that helps you. Thanks for watching my video. If you have any questions, please leave me some comments back. And I'm kind of new at making videos. If you have any pointers, things that I could do to make better, I will take positive criticism. And again, thanks for watching. And I'm Lil Country, and I hope you follow me, and I will be continuing to make more videos to help other people out. And if you need my gamer tag, just send me a message and I'll add you to my friends list. Happy slaying.